Hey, this is Dietz, and I'm going to show you the warm-ups that I generally like to use. The first warm-up that I do involves just stretching. I begin by stretching my arm over for about 10 seconds, each arm. And I got this from John Petrucci's rock discipline, by the way. I also stretch my arms behind my head for about 10 seconds each. That's not 10 seconds, but you have the idea. Then I stretch each individual finger back for about 5 seconds each. That way it relaxes all the muscles, it stretches everything out. And then for the thumb, I only stretch it for about 10 seconds each. I stretch it back like this, and then I'll stretch it forward towards the front of my wrist. And then I'll do the same thing for this hand on each individual finger, and same with the thumb, forward and back. Additionally, I like to stretch my fingers for about 5 seconds in between. About like that. For my left hand, I like to use another technique I got from Rock Discipline. This is a variation on it, on one of his warm-ups. First, start by putting your pointer finger on the 11th fret of the D string. Then you want to put your middle finger on the 12th fret of the G string. You want to put your ring finger on the 13th fret of the B string. And then you want to put your pinky finger on the 14th fret of the E string. And then you'll have this diminished sounding shape. So you just arpeggiate it like that. Make sure each note sounds clear, sounds clean. There's no fret buzz. It's not like you want to make sure that you're pressing down with the very tips of your fingers. You want to make sure you arch your fingers so that they're attacking the strings directly. You don't want them to be like this. You don't really want to play like this. And also, you don't want to have banana fingers. That's what Michelangelo called it in one of his videos, where the fingers are bent back really weird. For the next shape, we're going to switch the inside fingers. So you want to take your middle finger, and now you want to put it on the 12th fret of the B string. And then you want to put your ring finger on the 13th fret of the G string. So now they're still on the same fret, but they've switched strings, and then you should have this. Next, we're going to switch the outer fingers. So we're going to put our pointer finger on the 11th fret of the E string. And then we're going to put our pinky finger on the 14th fret of the D string. And then you should have this. Which is now like the mirror image of our first shape. And last, we switch the inner fingers again. So we're going to put our middle finger back to the 12th fret on the G string, and our ring finger back on the 13th fret of the B string. And so then we'll end up with... And now let me play that entire sequence. Now what I do differently that he doesn't explicitly state reason I start this on the 11th fret is because I move it down every 2 frets. So now I'll repeat that same sequence that I just played, but it's all going to be on the 9th fret, so it's going to stretch my fingers a little more. And it'll go like this. For the next shape, I make a separation between my middle 2 fingers. So I still have these two starting on the 11th and 12th frets, except I move my upper 2 fingers up a half step. So instead of this, I have this. And now this helps stretch that middle gap. Then I take that entire sequence and move it down a string set. And then, once again, I take that down every 2 frets. And then I'll end up all the way down here. There's a pretty big stretch here. Third stretch, this time I put the separation between my outer 2 fingers on each side. So I still start on the 11th fret here, but now I'm putting my middle finger on the 13th fret of the G string, putting my ring finger on the 14th fret of the B string, and then I bring my pinky all the way up to the 16th fret. Still the same sequence. I switch the inner 2 fingers, outer 2, inner 2 again, and then go to the next string set. And the last we go for the crazy stretching. Now we have a separation between all the fingers. So we'll start on the 11th fret, put our middle finger on the 13th fret, we're going to put our ring finger on the 15th fret, and then put our pinky way up on the 17th fret. Switch the inner fingers, switch the outer fingers, and switch the inner fingers. And then you carry that all the way down. Going down every other fret position until, if you think you have the balls to do it, do a really gigantic stretch down here. But you don't have to go that far. Usually if you stop at the 5th or 3rd fret on that one, that's enough warming up. Because I don't think you're ever going to play any chords that span 7 frets.